Okay. Oh, well, good. That's all I had to do the first time then
You
too.
can introduce me, I guess. Yeah.
Okay. Hi, this is Jimmy, um, aka Shirtless Guy. This is my producer and friend, Matt. I affectionately call him the Matterator, but anyway, that he wanted me to think of a nickname for him. He's my producer. He's a whiz at electronics and IT and the technical side of music, everything I'm not good at. And we've done one song together um, called "I'm the Crime." He's good at video too. He uses AI. Video. He does a good video of it. And I've got total 9 original songs right now. And so that's one of the 9. I have 8 more that we're going to work on. And side note, any of the haters that have commented that I don't own my own home would have to deal with the fact that must be paying this guy to vouch for me, because this is my home, and he's not saying any different. And I don't know, did I pay you to say that for me? But anyway, this is my front porch. It's a little after midnight. I just got back from doing karaoke at the Champion Sports Pub. I did 4 songs, and it's all tongue in cheek for me because I'm not a singer. So if I thought I was a singer, I'd be horrified, and I would be like all broken down, and I'd be all nervous, and I wouldn't be able to do what I do up there. But it's just fun to me because I'm just having fun with music. It gets me in front of a crowd. It gets me more comfortable with the lyric part of music, because when I do songs, even my own, I actually do sing. I'm just not the greatest at it, but and it gets me just comfortable with the rhythm of music and the lyrics of music and stuff. And so this is my friend Matt, and I want to, you know, a lot of life is stories, and stories are a lot of stories is interaction. And I just want to mention some nice interactions I had today on my walk. First of all, yesterday was Thanksgiving. Happy belated Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving for me is just a day when I walk and there's nothing open, basically, or very little open, because I don't really have family. But I had some nice interactions today on my walk. I went into AMPM, and that's by the subway. Um, that's across the street from Champion, where I did my karaoke tonight, and I met some cool kids. One was called let me think. I can get this. It is. Let me think. Um, oh, come on! I can do this. Um, Wait, let me think. Gosh, what was his name?
Beavis?
No. Um, I can do this. Um, it's a good memory trick for me. His name was um, I can't think of his name now. Um, okay, well, so it starts with T. Tired.
Thomas?
No. Um, not not not.
It probably doesn't matter.
It's a Greek name. What's a Greek name? A Greek name. Well, I guess it wasn't meant to be. I'm um, another. Um, t- anyway, whatever. If I think of it later, I'll mention it. I don't know why I had a brain fart there. Um, anyway, we're just going live.
So, how long do you think we've known each other
Uh, about 2 years. What happened was a couple of years ago. Um, uh, Without going into too much drama, um, how much should I tell? I'm honest with my fans.
now? Well, yeah, it's fine. I mean,
Yeah,
you're
I
in
had to leave.
Escondido at the
Yeah, I
time.
was just gonna. I had to leave my home for 13 months. Basically, I won't go into the gory details of it. I ended up in Escondido because I've lived there before. In fact, I lived in Escondido before I bought this house and moved out here, where I'm at now. And I met him when I was basically trying to find, struggling to go, find places to stay in Escondido. And I guess he met me at Guitar Center or something. We started hanging out, and we worked together good. Yes.
Yeah, I think our first stuff we did was just kind of on a looper. We just looped
Yeah, he
stuff.
would have me record. He knew tricks about how to record like 10 seconds of stuff and have it repeat over and over again, and I can jam back to it and make a little song out of it. And that kind of thing I'm not very good at. And so it turned out he became really good. He even learned more than he knew then. He studied it and got really good at it. And now we're thinking of some new things to do with my style. I have some, and I'm working on my style pretty well. I'm working on it. What's funny is, I'm really big on the speed thing, not speed the drug, but speed on guitar, and I'm really good at it. And as I'm mastering it, at the same time as that's happening, I'm also doing other things. Like the other things are coming in at the same rate as I'm mastering the speed. It's not like, so I'm not doubling down on speed. I'm going, well, I have speed, but what else can I do? I'm writing songs. And with songs, I'm writing lyrics. With lyrics, I'm singing the lyrics. And then I'm doing karaoke, which has nothing to do with guitar. And I wasn't even doing that much when I wasn't having mastered speed. So it's like, I don't know, maybe the universe is trying to tell me that, okay, you did your work, good boy, now do something with it, and do these other things.
Yeah. So I have some thoughts on it.
Yeah.
I mean, my thinking, and I've always talked to you about this, like,
Yeah.
you can't really, like, you have certain stripes on a tiger, right?
Yeah.
And like, you like a certain speed.
Yeah.
That's kind of like your thing.
Right.
So for me to come in and try and remove the stripes on the tiger, I mean, that's disingenuous, first of all,
Yeah.
And so, the real thing is, with the speed elevates music, typically,
Mhm.
So when you play things quicker and you have quicker passages, it tends to elevate the music. Of course, the thing is that you can't always be in songs. You can't always be elevated, like
Yeah, I get.
and that's something we worked
Yeah,
on.
I'll comment when it's my turn because I understand that. Want to comment?
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like a daily activity. You have your times when you're really having fun, but then there's also times when you have to do chores, and then there's times when you have to go to sleep. And it doesn't matter who you are; you have to do these different things, and you can't just do one thing all the time. I can't just have highs all day, all the time, all the time, all the time, all the time. And it's the same with music. And music is a reflection of life and art. You have to have peaks and valleys and places where it's like Eric Johnson calls it the offs between the ons. You have times when you're not doing as much, and you have times when the drum solos, and then you have times when it's the chorus of a song, and then you have times when it's the guitar solo, and then within the solo there's times when he's just playing one note, and there's times when he plays a bunch of notes, and there's time when he hits a high note and uses a whammy bar and bends it, and then there's a time when he just plays it fast. So yeah, it shows that I have that covered, which is important to me, because if I didn't, I'd feel like, why am I doing this? And maybe someone else wouldn't feel that way, but I would, because I'm me. I've always believed, and maybe my adopted dad might have helped teach me this, but I've always believed that you do something all the way or not at all, and within that, I've even found for me, I like to do the hard things first, because then I don't have to do them anymore, and then I can do the easier stuff, and things get easier instead of harder. And often when people, it seems to me that when people put the hard things off, they don't ever get to them, and then they never really do that. And so I always thought, since I was even a kid in school, why don't I do the hard things first? That way I get it over with. And then I say, okay, now dude, let's do everything else. It's fun and easy. And I think I do that with everything, but I've also done it with guitar and music. It's like, okay, I've mastered the speed, or mastered is a relative word, but I've gotten really good at the speed. Okay, now what else can I do? It can't be as hard as that, because that was really hard. Well, let's do that. In fact, it's even fun, and it's cool, and I'm having fun with it. Because I didn't start music to be miserable. I liked having fun. That's part of the thing. And I genuinely liked music. Like Steve Vai says, he didn't have a love for success. He had a love for guitar and the instrument. Or he said it in reverse. He said, I didn't have a love for a guitar. I didn't have a love for success. No, he said, I have a love for the guitar and the instrument, not love of success. That's how Steve put it, in case I'm quoted there. But that's the thing. It wasn't like a big game plan to have $1 million, or even a game plan to have all the girls in the world. Even those are both good things. Um, um, Attainable or not, who knows? But um, I had to love what I do first, so that if it all tanks, I'm not at a loss. I still like what I'm doing, and I like the product. And I'm sorry, and sorry in a good way though, because I'm really not sorry. I'm sorry, but that's how I do my YouTube channel. I believe in the product I put out first, and then if it hits, that's great, and if it doesn't, I did what I meant, and I did me. And that's just how I do my channel. It's how I did my guitar playing, and it's how I did school.
Well, it's like, if I can interrupt a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely, dude.
Yeah, it used to be, if you remember back in the 70s,
Yeah.
You had like a handful of TV shows,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
And everyone would wait up for them. We don't have that. We literally have millions of TV shows. You're essentially like your own producer. It's your own kind of show. If you
Yeah, I could look at it. Yeah.
And I think that's just the way we are these days. Everyone goes, and you know, your fans, they're looking for Jimmy shredding. You know what I mean? And doing his thing. You know.
Yeah.
And the thing is, you know, we've talked about this. That's why I'd like to steer the conversation more towards us just talking like we normally do,
Yeah, instead of
as
me
opposed to
discussing.
you just talking. And
All right,
I
let's
get it,
go.
you have the fans and all that, but
Let's go.
you'll
man.
have time for a lot of that later. You know what
Okay, I
I mean?
apologize then.
No, not at all. I'm just saying it's. I think we've had interesting conversations.
Yeah, we have.
about-
And I mean,
about-
with both
about-
of us, it wasn't just me talking to the camera.
Yeah, and I think that in those things aren't really captured. You know, when we talk about that. You know,
Yeah.
it's a lot of fun.
Well, yeah, it is. It is. We were just
the way
talking.
I think of it, it's kind of like there's a push and pull relationship with everything. With computers, for instance, say computer graphics, right? They'll come up with a great game, but a lot of times they'll come up with a good hardware that pushes the game, right? And it's the same thing. There's a push and pull. Getting tone on the guitar will inspire the artist to do a certain thing, which
Right.
can inspire a producer to see it a certain way. And
Yeah.
all of that kind of adds together. I think kind of what's lost in this whole guitar god thing is that
There's
no guitar god was created just
In a
by
vacuum.
himself in a vacuum.
Right.
What a lot of people don't realize is that
There had to be Michael Anthony and Alex Van Halen to make Eddie Van Halen for some dumb reason.
all these groups were produced.
Right. It had to be
I
Ted
gave
Templeton.
you that example of Joy Division, for instance, where Martin Hannett would sit back and he handed Ian Curtis a album of Frank Sinatra, and he said, "Learn to sing like this," and he went home.
Yeah.
And he slowed his voice down. It wasn't a punk rock voice. When he came back and he mixed that whole record, he was doing sounds of lift in the studio that goes up and down. That's actually on the album. And then they had this tape delay. He did all his magic. When he released the album, he didn't let the band hear it at all. And when he released it, guess what? The band hated it. They absolutely hated it. They were pissed. But it ends up being this iconic record, Unknown Pleasures. Now, that's a little different genre than, like, obviously the guitar god, but that's more from, but there's always a story like that.
Yeah.
How a producer came in and was able to separate the sound and was able to make it sound a certain
Well,
way.
even the strife I've had at home that made me leave my home for 13 months and be basically in a hotel for 1 out of 4 nights, and then in a van of someone for 3 nights out of 4, and then back and forth, led to me meeting Matt. And if everything were so perfect, I would have just stayed in this home all the time, and I wouldn't have met him, and we wouldn't be having this exact same conversation. So everything is, even if I think only God can move without being moved. Whenever I make an action, I'm also creating other actions that may be totally unknown to me, but still made from that one action. And so it's like a jigsaw puzzle, and I may be just a little piece of it, but But that piece may be a very nice piece, but it doesn't define the whole equation. And Einstein said things should be made as simple as possible, but not simpler. It's too simple to say that Eddie Van Halen was God on guitar, and that was that. You know, everybody is a part of a unit, and um, a holistic thing comes into play. It's not just one thing. For me personally, I enjoy whatever attention I get. Little backstory, if that's okay, but not a lot of backstory. I said a little. I was picked on as a kid, and that's not even to mention beaten up by my 6'3" Navy dad, slapped by my mom. But the kids all picked on me because I was smart, and because I didn't do what the kids wanted me to do. I didn't bow to peer pressure. I didn't join a sports team so I could be popular, and nor did I do drugs so I could be popular. I didn't even grow my hair out until I was 25 years old or something. I didn't belong in any group. I was a nerd. I was good at school because I would have had to fake not being good to not be good. I was just born smart, and that was that.
I read where
Yeah.
something interesting where childhood trauma, like
Yeah.
people that are affected by childhood trauma, there's certain levels of, what do you say,
Adrenaline?
maturity. No,
Oh.
it comes in like there's certain, and some people that were very abused,
Uh-huh.
they reach a certain. And we've talked before where mentality wise, you still feel in many ways like you're just 15. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
yeah. I've heard it said in the context of alcoholism, which I wasn't, but it's the same general principle. You tend to get stuck at the same emotional age at which your trauma occurred, and my
Yeah,
trauma,
and if it's
my
a
trauma
serious,
was
yours was pretty serious.
pretty
so-
serious, and mine was between the ages of 13 and 17, and I'm basically, and that's how old I am inside. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm outside, I'm not, but um, I think not much differently than a 13-year-old kid. That's when my dad got his Illuminati thing together, and had a brand new, not just a brand new house, but a brand new area of living. We were just in another place, bottom of a hill, and brand new area, and then had to leave baseball because there was no baseball team where we were. And when my dad got his more success, he got meaner because he could, or because he liked it, or I don't know. Maybe they made him mean. Maybe being a Mason and all that crap made him mean. But and and uh, and then that's when the kids started picking on me. 13 years old, and then I did this wonderful thing. I mean, I'm serious. I did this wonderful. I took a walk. I might have been the first walk I've ever taken that really was significant. And I took a walk. It was late at night like this, and it was like, it might have been 2 or 3 hours. And I just left home. So screw it, I'm going. And I'm walking around. And I basically figure out my life. And dude, I thought I was just thinking like a kid, and I'm figuring out what I think right now and how I figure things. But I've stuck to that to the letter to this day. I've never gone much further than that, and nor have I just transgressed that. I've just stuck to what I thought of when I was 13. But the things I thought of when I was 13 are basically very brilliant, as if I might have had some spiritual help or something. Some God or angels might have been inspiring me, because I figured out my life at 13 years old, and I haven't done anything different than that, and it's worked, you know.
Well, I think a little bit of like um, Daniel Johnston. Have you ever heard of him from Austin? He was like this. He put out a song called "The Story of an Artist." You know?
Okay, tell me.
And you know, in general, the lines were that his family just thought he was crazy for doing what he was doing.
Uh-huh.
And his words back were, well, I think it's crazy that you do what you do, because the sun basically doesn't shine in your TV. And you're not a person that sits back and looks at TV all the time. You're out enjoying the sun, you're interacting with people.
Right.
You're kind of living life, and you're kind of out there. You're out there, and I think, I'd say there was, I forget the name of there was someone who I recently saw said people on their deathbeds, the one thing they regret, or that most people regret, is not being genuine to themselves when they were alive.
Yeah.
And there's something to say for that. And the way I think of art is, the artist is just a reflection of what he sees around him. And some people do not like that reflection.
So they
I
despise the
think
messenger.
Yeah, some of the haters, for instance, the reason why they hate you is because inside them,
They see me reflecting. They see I'm
see-
reflecting part of them that they either don't like or don't
see,
want
yeah.
revealed, and then they hate me because I'm the one that's causing that turmoil for them. Or
and,
maybe
and then there's also
I know.
another thing in our, not to get political, but in our secular society, instead of people believing, let's say, in God
right,
or
which I believe in
what
God,
they,
but
what
whatever.
what they do is something fills that void.
Mm.
And
Yeah, it's
what
not
can
like
fill
they're
that
not truly
void is,
godless. They're just replacement God.
their God may be in a sense,
Right.
one of their guitar heroes,
Yeah.
and
okay.
then they think
Or guitar itself.
they think you're somehow playing this and butchering the memory of
the
what.
hero.
Well, you didn't say the incantations in the proper way that they should be said.
Yeah.
And
So in other words,
this type of thing.
I don't look a carbon copy like Eddie Van Halen, so I just can't do his music justice.
That being said,
or maybe I do look a carbon copy like Jim Morrison, who might actually be my dad, but he's saying in poetry, I play guitar, so that's not right either. I don't know. But you know what? I think a lot about. I don't watch hardly any videos that are really current all the time. I go back and I have my Black Sabbath from 1970 and Led Zeppelin from 1973 and Van Halen from 1978. And what I'm watching is these guys are iconic now. No one would think of being Ozzy or David Lee Roth or Eddie Van Halen, but at the time they were just young wackos like I am. They were like hellraisers. Nobody even knew who they were. Ozzy's up there going, "Oh, this is off our second album. I hope you like it. It's called Paranoid." Okay, I hope you like it, guys. He was just another dude up there causing trouble. And there was haters on the time. I'm sure people hated him. Jimi Hendrix, dude, that guy just burned a guitar in 1967. No one's ever going to forget that. It was 50 years ago. It doesn't matter. No one's ever going to forget that or top what he did in many ways. But he was just a hellraiser out there being himself. No one was saying, "Yay, Jimmy, you're the icon." He was just Jimi fucking Hendrix. Deal with him. And I'm not saying I'm Jimi Hendrix, but I'm also not saying I'm not me though. I'm just me doing me. And if I get hate, what would you have me do? Die? That's against the whole concept of survival and self-preservation. So that's not an option. Do you want me to go crazy? Well, they've already tried. I've already been there. You want to scare me? Dude, I had a 6'3" Navy SEAL dad beat the crap out of me when he felt like it. You think that you can show me something new about fear? Really? I've thought about killing myself, and when I'm going to hell at the process. Not doing it, of course, but thinking about it is a lot of the trauma and the ordeal. Just thinking, and even thinking that you're thinking, wow, I just thought I might kill myself. That is really weird. That scares me. But that was another part of me that didn't want to kill myself. Nobody really wants to die. You throw yourself off a ledge and then you want to live on the way down. No one really wants to die. You just want the hurt to go away. You want your life to change. So my option is do one of those two. The suicide thing isn't going to end well for you or anybody else, even if you fail or succeed.
Well, it's like I was reading this. One guy wrote a suicide note.
Uh-huh.
It was they did a documentary, and I'm terrible with names. It was a documentary.
Yeah, I couldn't remember her name right just now on the video. Go ahead.
Yeah, but there was a bunch of. They did a documentary on the Golden Gate Bridge and people committing suicide on it in 1 year's time. I think there was like 60 people or something.
Uh-huh.
And one of them really tore the what do you say, the producer up.
Uh-huh.
And he wrote a suicide letter that said, you know what, I'm going to go walk and
Yeah.
commit suicide. But if one person says hi to me,
Oh,
I won't do it.
wow.
And guess what?
What?
He died. Went off the bridge. No one even said hi to him.
Dude, that's crazy.
So is that a good reflection of the culture? So one of the things I have to say
Yeah.
about that is, when people spread hate and they hate on someone,
Uh,
that's great for the channel, honestly, because you have a lot of people that
argue against
it's
me.
bad publicity is fine.
It's still publicity, right?
But one thing they have to ask themselves, what are they adding to the culture?
Yeah. Are they the person that didn't say hi to that guy?
Well, everyone views themselves
whatever.
as a hero, right? They're not
Right.
going to be.
No.
They wouldn't have been that Nazi guard, right?
Right.
Yeah. No.
But neither would the
Guess
Nazi
what?
guard.
They probably actually they're more likely they would. Why? Because they found out Hitler was more of a germaphobe. It wasn't so much he so people that have like this, they detest anything that they feel is dirty. Then what they do is they coin that person as subhuman, and then they're able to do whatever they want with them.
Because
But
they're
it's
defined
more,
as
it's
not.
more of a, it's
defined
more
as-
of a thing.
It
yeah.
automatically justifies their action by changing the.
But
front.
see, they don't
Yeah.
see that in themselves.
Right.
Usually, like I said, usually though, most bullies, they if you looked at them, even those people that did those guys that did documentary, what have you. First of all, they don't have any balls to really say who they are. Really, you know what I mean? Not like you. You're out there and
You
you have an
mean
address.
the people that made a documentary about me,
Yeah, and all
Mike
that.
and Frank? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's not. They're not Mike and Frank. There's someone else. They
Yeah, whatever.
But if they're, it's.
I'm giving you a little tidbit there. I'm giving them out. I don't care. I'm not interested.
Like I said,
Yeah,
those and that's fine. Everyone's allowed to come up with what they do, but
Yeah.
everyone also has to be aware that they could be you.
Yeah.
That they could be the target of that.
Yeah.
And
now they could be, but
it's funny how people frame themselves
Yeah.
to be something other than that. Not
Yeah.
seeing themselves as that. Not seeing themselves as
Yeah.
part.
Well, I
of
have two
the
things to say
community.
about that. First of all, who's to say they won't be me someday? That it's not their role. That's not their time right now. And secondly, I try not to think too deep because I can think deep easily. But one thing I think is a lot of the time I have this feeling that people always see themselves as if given any control of the scenario, they choose themselves as the hero. In other words, I'm me, so I must be good. I'm me, I must be right. I'm me, I must be beautiful. And I try not to do that with myself because, first of all, it doesn't seem logical. Because if everybody does that, then who's to say I'm the one that gets to really do that and mean it and have it be true? I'm really just another person. I'm not. Me isn't the only thing that could be good. You might be right, and I might be full of shit right now.
Yeah,
And to be open and fair and also intelligent, I have to admit that, at least to myself, if not to you. And that's what I try to do. I'm not a preacher or anything, but I catch people a lot of the time. People, that they just assume I'm me, I'm right, and if it's not my position, I just say, oh, that's cool, or I even think, oh, that's cool. But if it's someone that I'm supposed to talk to, I can say, yeah, you're right, prove that, or why is that? Because I'm me, and what if I'm right? But then again, I'm me, I might be wrong. What about you? How come you can't be wrong?
Yeah, the other thing I thought about,
we're all just
yeah.
people. Anyway.
Well, everyone lives, so, I was thinking about this the other day. Everyone lives in, like, their own little world. If you think about it.
Yeah.
What's important to them? Like, if you think you took everyone away, like, in my life, like, if you took everyone away from your family and you took away everything, what meaning, would your life have? You'd have to really rethink that.
Oh, that's funny you say that because, I mean, that it depends on who you're talking to. Because can I say something?
Yeah.
If I can get my mic back on here, I'm a very objective thinker, and I also try to think things all the way through. And I've actually tried in my life to try to build things that define me and are important to me as things that nobody can take from me. I never wanted to really be defined by my children who can die or be killed or kidnapped or hurt or just hate me, or my wife who can divorce me and beat me up. I wanted to say I'm educated. I know about engineering and higher math. They can't take that from me very easily. It would take a lot of work, but it's hard to take that from me. Or I know music. I have a love of music itself, a knowledge of music theory, and good skills on the guitar that's hard to take from me.
Yeah.
If I ended up being the lone survivor of a nuclear winter, I'd still have those things. Whereas the guy that just has all his friends and girlfriends and all that, cocky asshole maybe, but who cares? Who knows? What happens when his girls are taken away? What happens when he's the only one left on the earth? What is he going to do then? And even though that may sound like an extreme scenario, how do you know that doesn't apply in some either portion or period of that person's or any person's life? Someday, I might be alone and in the nuclear winter. Maybe not exactly, but that could be figurative. And it could even be you have the white throne judgment of God. It could be any case where I don't have you to back me up, or that to justify me, or that house that it's $1 billion house and I'm a billionaire because I'm Microsoft, or whatever your thing is. How about, to me, I want it to be something that you can't take from me.
So we have someone here that said,
okay.
Gardmore, what's up, Jimmy?
Oh, hi, not much. I'm just so mad I can't think of those kids' names I met today, and I couldn't think of their names. And I know one girl was Milan, and that was the girl that was with the guy whose name started with T and had 4 letters. And then they had a friend named Leah, and they're just real nice to me on my walks. And there's just many others that I've had some.
Looks like Dave here is pretty entertained. He has some.
Yeah, tell me.
He has some laughing going on. And that's good.
Yeah.
That's good. And then we have one other person here.
Yeah.
You know. What up, Jimbo? Who's this? So I guess he wasn't here for the beginning of the video.
Oh, because he didn't know who.
So
I'm Jimmy, shirtless guy.
I'm the Matterator, and I'm helping Jimmy put out some sweet tunes. In fact, we should shift some of our combo here to some of the research I've done.
Yeah, go. Oh, let's shift that. I want to do that right now. Can we do that right now?
Yeah, because
I can do that. Just trust me. I can do it. I can do it. I can shift it.
Okay.
This guy is the me of what he does, because I play fast and I didn't go this direction, but I'm going to go this way, that way this time. And thanks for all the comments there. He's studying the science, the dynamics, the study, the acoustics of fast notes, and not just that, but anything that connects to fast notes. Like, did you know that there's a certain humans can hear notes as fast as they want to throw at them. There's no limit. It's with frequency of sound, like a pitch. There's pitches too high and too low for us to even hear. But with frequency, as far as notes per time, notes, beats per minute, beats per second, notes per second, we can hear up to infinity and still track it. But the catch is, as the notes gets faster and faster, they begin to sound like one note.
Yeah, so
they begin to sound like
how I came about that. I revised though how many beats per minute you're doing. So what I did is to refresh. I had a hard time going. Or how many? And even you, like, how many beats per minute are you arpeggiating it?
I have no idea.
Yeah, exactly. So. Right. There's this great program online. It's called Moises, and it's an AI program and I use it all the time. If you have a song you want to have information about, or let's say you do a recording session, you want to find how many beats per minute you're at, you can upload this WAV file. Artificial intelligence will look at it and separate the tracks. And I was able to the main reason I did it for you is I had you send me make a bunch of videos.
Well, yeah, I
And
had them on
out
my
of
YouTube.
that, I went in and I extracted all the audio, and then I took just the fast parts out,
Mm-hmm.
and I basically strung all the fast parts together.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, this is how crazy I am, right?
No.
Strung all the fast parts together,
Mm-hmm.
and I put it through the AI. Well, guess what? The AI didn't know what to do. You crashed the AI.
Right, right.
The AI
It
just crashed.
Yeah.
So what I had to do is I had to go, okay, I have to slow this down.
Mm-hmm.
So I went in and I actually slowed it down to 0.3.
I can
Which
explain to everybody what that.
mathematically-
Could explain mathematically. Matt is not the cause. He's not the consummate mathematician, so he said he slowed it down by 0.3, which would have meant he slowed it down to 70%. But that's not what really happened. He said it like that's what happened, but I looked at it later. He slowed it down to 0.3, not he slowed it down to 1/3 speed. Let's just forget about the 0.3 stuff.
Yeah.
He slowed it. He made it 3 times slower than it really was. He slowed it down to. He played it at 1/3 speed. Oh, let's
Yeah,
just make
then,
it
then I
simple.
fed it in,
Yeah.
and then I took out the beats per minute. Then we're at 67.
Oh,
Now I misread that because I was reading 2 beats. I was listening to it. You know, I had to listen to it. This is an objective thing where I was listening to it,
yeah.
and I thought I heard 2 beats. I heard, ding, ding, and then the clock measured.
Uh-huh.
And I thought, well, that's got to be double. But actually, that isn't the case. What I think in that case, what was happening is when you're hitting the string, there's the hitting of the string,
Mm.
and there's the release.
Mm.
That's what it was recording.
So it really wasn't. It really wasn't half speed.
It's 67. It was 67 beats per minute,
Uh-huh.
slowed down by
Slowed down
1/3. So you have to multiply it
by 3.
By 3.
Right. So that
So you
becomes
take
180,
Yeah. So
or something like that. I don't know. No, 210.
yeah, you're around
220.
210 now.
Yeah, 210.
Okay, speed metal. The
Mhm.
fastest speed metal to be played usually is it's up to like 250 beats per minute.
Right.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Here's the thing: is that the human ear, once beats get up to a certain speed,
Yeah.
people can't differentiate between the notes,
Right.
and it sounds like one tone.
Right. Right.
Right?
Just can I say how ironic
Yeah, yeah,
that is?
Yeah.
That's ironic, naturally, because everything does. It's a lot of things are in cycles. A lot of things are circular, and I had an English teacher that said one time just got there and said, too much pleasure can be pain, and too much pain can be pleasure. So pain and pleasure isn't a line; it's a circle. A lot of things. Too much speed can be slow. Too much speed can be one note. But one note, on the other hand, if it's too slow, could it be a million notes a minute if you thought of it a certain way?
Well,
The ends meet, like
Well,
it
in a
circles
way it
meet,
is. So
yeah,
when you work
yeah.
with, like, I work a lot with synthesizers, right?
Uh-huh.
So in synthesizers, you have oscillators. Oscillators are wave generators.
Right.
So you're generating sine waves.
Uh-huh.
Why do you have 2 oscillators? Well, one is you can create a sine wave,
Uh-huh.
and the other oscillator can create a saw wave on top of that sine wave. So you get this, and then you can speed that up, right?
Mm-hmm.
So those can be looked upon
Waves
as
within
beats.
waves.
As beats, like waves can be beats.
Uh-huh.
My main point on this, and I haven't told you this yet, but I've been looking and researching, like, how do we clear up, like, you play really fast, but when you're using that fuzz pedal,
The
that
distortion
fuzz pedal, the distortion, it's a rat, right?
Yeah, it's a rat pedal.
So what happens is you're creating distortion.
Mm-hmm.
But when you're playing that, it doesn't sometimes accentuate fast playing. Anything too aggressive does not when you have waveforms, when they come together, they can cancel each other out. They can have counterproductive, depending on.
I think I know what you might be saying. Can I say it?
Yeah, go ahead.
I think what you're saying, Matt, the Matterator, is that I could probably sound faster if I were cleaner, but then I
Exactly.
wouldn't like my sound. So it's a
No. So there's a balance.
no.
So
Okay,
here's what we do.
tell me.
So when we're at speed,
Hmm.
we want to make sure to be very light on the controls. See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like
Don't
it'd
put
be
heavy.
like if you're gonna have a waveform here. If you make huge saw waves on it, it's
It's
just gonna.
jumble up.
But if you put some nice,
I
if you
can-
put
I
some
can-
nice, pretty, you put some
Yeah.
shine on it, right?
I can mess up my own playing by my setting on my rap pedal.
And now
and
some
no
of the
one will know.
research I've done
Uh-huh.
points to, actually, believe it or not,
Mm.
a phaser.
Rather than distortion,
Yeah.
or in addition to, or rather than.
Rather than you put a phaser on there, and the phaser can give a certain shimmering.
Hmm.
But like I said, we have to mess with tone, because here's the thing. Remember when I mentioned earlier in our
Can I make
conversation,
it-
wait a minute, about how hardware can push software, this type of thing? Well, in this case, here's where tone's important. Tone is like a color, okay? When you find there's certain artists that were famous for certain colors, they actually painted on their palette, and they found this unique color that inspired them, and they were known for. Tone is the color of music,
Yeah.
okay? And if you have the right tone, that's what I always tell people. If you can start with tone, that means I don't care. You spend an hour with the knobs, you get just the right tone down to where it sounds good. It sounds inspiring when you hit those strings and that tone comes out. You get a certain feeling, you get a certain rush. Then you know you've arrived, and then at that point, you go.
Playing.
Everything starts with tone, and we're talking about tone. We're talking about the little ripples of either distortion, phaser, delay,
Flanger, chorus,
reverbs,
yeah.
whatever it is. You know, a big problem with mixing, and every producer's run into this, is if you're too heavy on the controls, eventually you end up with a muddied mess.
Make it natural.
Great artists.
Make it natural if you can.
Great artists knew when to stop. Get it?
Yeah.
They knew when enough was enough.
Yeah.
Okay.
Probably applies to speed too, but
Well, speed. Okay, so
Yeah.
the speed is more. The way I think of speed is when you speed things up. Let's say you play a classical piece and you speed up an arpeggiation, right? It sounds pretty.
I think
It
so.
elevates.
I think
Okay,
so.
but you can't have a song that's elevated
All
from
the
start
time.
to finish.
Right.
So that's why with the
Yeah.
song we put together,
Mm-hmm.
we said, okay, look, we have all these options here. We can arpeggiate, we can just, lay on chords, sometimes just letting the chord ring. Or I propose this sometimes with songs. Don't play for certain parts of the song.
Yeah.
Like it could be just vocals or it could be just a bass. The most powerful thing, for instance, you can do with a bass is just drop out of the song. Because the whole bottom end of the song drops out. And then guess what? When you pause for a little bit and that bass comes back in again, you get this pow effect. Now if you just sit there and thumb at the bass the whole song, I mean that's okay too, depending on the beat. But my whole point is there's an option in a song. It's one option of many is to pause. And a lot of people don't think that. I think a lot of people who make music, and especially beginners, they just fill the notes, just as many notes as they can
I have a
fill.
couple
in
things
the
to say
air.
when it's my turn, but I don't want to interrupt you.
No. So go ahead. Yeah.
Oh,
That's
thank
fine.
you.
Yeah.
Well, I have some thoughts about that. First of all, not to toot my own horn, but I'm getting better at all these things. I mean, the things you're saying. I've seen some comments that are actually very encouraging. Some guy said, and I can't read them all. There's so much. I mean, I will eventually get to them. It's just a lot of them. But one guy said he's finally bending notes, and little things like that. It's like I'm finally expressing first of all, myself in music, but I'm also doing expressive things on the
I
guitar.
like the last one
That-
cover you did.
that are-
The Van Halen one. Was it the Van Halen one? Or
Why
was it?
was it the eruption in Spanish? Eruption and running with the devil.
Yeah,
Or-
I think so.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
That was really good.
Dude, I was just having fun, and I wasn't
It
just.
came through.
I wasn't just trying to be the.
Yeah.
I'm gonna beat Eddie Van Halen. I'm gonna be faster than he was. Fuck
So
that.
this
I was just up
person's asking,
Yeah.
what's your all-time favorite meal?
Oh, I like fettuccine alfredo.
That's a good one.
Best thing you can get. It's got noodles, it's got cheese, and it's got chicken. How can you beat that?
They're saying you should probably try and post some acoustic guitar at some point.
I would love that. Can I get an acoustic guitar sometime?
Yeah, I've got
Have you have any?
several.
I don't have one. I'd love that. I'd like a nylon string like Randy Rhoads would do. I would be inspired by that. Just the holding one. Just saying. Think of what Randy would do, which that kind of brings emotions to me because of times when.
Yeah, I think an
Okay.
acoustic guitar is a lot of the pieces that one thing I like about a guitar acoustic is it's real easy. You can put it right beside your bed.
Yeah, you
And
can.
you can put it downstairs somewhere. You can put it.
You can take it with you in a car and
Well, you
still
can
play.
stuff it anywhere. What I do is I stuff it everywhere. So no matter where I am, there's an acoustic right by.
I need to get in a car. I need to get a
And
nylon
what I
string.
do is I grab it
Mhm.
and then warm up, and then also you never know when a certain passage
hits you and you need to
Hits
play it, and you don't have your electric guitar because it's at home with the amp.
you know exactly. So the more immediate you can get that, I think the acoustic
I think
is really
I
good.
think I've not liked steel strings for different reasons, but I think if I got a nylon string, I would like that particular thing.
Oh, steel strings are really hard on the fingers.
Oh, I don't like them. It makes me say, "Get this thing off of me. I'm going to play my electric." But if I get nylon strings, that's a genuine alternative that's mobile and acoustic that I could use as a guitar. I just need to find a good nylon string guitar. I can do it and get one. Because someone said, I kind of learned this from my dad. Sometimes when the person says something, you just do it. And if he says to get an acoustic, I'm on it, I guess. I mean, some things I'll try to get one.
So back to the
Yeah.
fast playing, because
Yeah.
that's what you're known for.
Yeah.
So I want to kind of stick on that, and I don't
Yeah.
mean to draw, but
Well,
I
You brought up
out.
this, which I liked that idea. I want to get a classical guitar.
Yeah,
No, but okay.
but that's classical would be good, but you're known for like the speed,
Right.
but people of course are disparaging on the sound, and what I'm going to
Yeah.
do is, well, if you haven't
Clean it
noticed,
up.
the microphones on our lapels, things like
Yeah.
this, like they're gonna.
Well, you've already
We're gonna up the game a little bit,
you've already
you know?
done a hate busting thing by showing up on my front porch because where's mom? And how did I pay you off to not say that mom's downstairs or upstairs or side stairs?
Really
But I don't care.
I like this lamp though. This is.
Oh, thank you. I thought it was psychedelic and cool. I don't always pick functional. I pick cool if I can. This lamp did nothing much to light anything, but I thought I brought this out before all these lights. I thought it was cool.
But anyways, so
Yeah.
my thinking is that so we know how many beats per minute.
I'm
Your
basically
top
I'm basically
is.
I'm basically 210
So what we do is we have you practice at having that
quartering it.
quartering it,
Yeah.
75%.
Yeah. Well, I got a way of
And then-
talking about
and
that,
then-
but it's your turn.
Yeah. So
I'll talk
what
about
I'm
the math
saying
of
is,
that in a minute.
I think that if we mix that along with,
Uh-huh.
I'm just saying,
Yeah. No,
when we get together and
you
we
got
start
good ideas. You got
experimenting
good
next,
ideas. Yeah.
I think we should experiment with a phaser.
Uh-huh.
And another thing I read too is that
Yeah.
so harder strings are
Mm-hmm.
going to play cleaner, but they're harder to play fast.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Got
lighter strings
By
Are gonna
harder, you
be-
mean thicker,
thicker,
heavier. Yeah.
Yeah. There's certain plated strings you can get though that are easier.
I know. I'm not. Yeah, I know.
But what I'm saying is another thing that can be done is what type of strings do you play with?
9 to 42, Ernie Ball.
Are those
They're not the thinnest, but they're the second to thinnest you can basically
second to
get.
thinnest? So
Yeah.
the idea is that you'd move more up to a medium range. as a
Highest I would go
compromise.
is 10 to 46. I won't go higher than that.
Well,
Otherwise, I'm not me anymore.
I get it. Okay, so but we try that
Yeah, and see
to
what.
get. We're chasing tone right now.
I get it. I get it.
Yeah,
I would
yeah,
do
so,
that for tone.
yeah.
I would do 10 to 46 for tone. Nothing more than that.
Yeah.
Or
And so we chase that tone.
uh-huh.
What we get all the pedals
Actually,
out.
here's an an irony of sometimes of some of this is that if I tried 10s and 46, I probably might like them because I'm just thinking I'm only biased by my experience to say I only like 9 to 42, but I haven't even tried 10 to 46. In fact, the last time I genuinely tried changing string gauges was when I was 16 years old, and now I'm 56, so that's 40 years ago. I made the decision that lasts the rest of my life. That's kind of
Well,
not
like I said,
necessarily.
I'm not going
I know
to.
you're not telling me you're not being my mom here. Or, LOL.
We
Yeah.
butt heads,
I
but
know,
that's
I know.
only that's
I know, I
only.
get it.
I think it's in any relationship that's natural. Like
Right.
I'm going to try and push you a little bit, and
Right,
then you
right.
push back. You go, hey, here's my limit. Here's
Yeah.
my, you know what I mean?
Right,
and
right.
that's fine. Whatever. I'm going to bring it up anyways.
Right. I
And
get it.
you-
I get
yeah,
it.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, my dude, the same person can hold conflicting beliefs at different points in their life and still be the same person, much less a different person with a similar mind. I was an atheist 10 months ago. Now I go to church.
Yeah, it's great.
So, but I'm still me. I didn't switch brains. I just got on a different page. Saul of Tarsus became Paul, the apostle. The same person, but he just switched pages. And I'm more like Saul of Tarsus than anyone in the Bible, if I'm anybody. But that's another subject. But still, if we're not here to learn, then what are we living for? I mean, we all change and grow. It means we're all imperfect, and I got to respect someone else's opinion. They might be right. In fact, a lot of the times I think they are. It's because I thought the Bible might be right that I started going to church, and within 3 months of that, I realized the Bible was right. So I did the right thing, giving it a chance. Well, same with any of your ideas.
Well, here's what's interesting. You
Yeah.
may not be realizing you're doing this, but
Yeah.
you are. I've told you this before. And it's a compliment. I
What?
mean, you are essentially an artist. Well, you walk down the street and you found a church. Well, church is a big part of the culture.
It is.
Guess what?
What?
You're now reflecting that.
Yeah. Yeah, I talk about God on my channel, and I don't
Yeah.
care what people think.
Yeah,
I mean, you know that.
Yeah, it's part of your culture.
And I'm reflecting
I'm
it.
sure if you were walking down the street
In
in
Taiwan, I'd be talking about Buddhism or something. I don't know.
yeah,
You never know. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm not. I at least I'm integrating that section of life. And it's. Well, there's only like 3 or 4 sections of society that are important as church. There's family, church, school, and society itself. This is one of the 4 that exist. So I was operating on 3 out of 4 before.
Yeah.
Now I've added to 4. That's a pretty big percentage increase. But about the tempo thing, if that's okay.
Yeah.
If I noticed a good thing, a cool thing about that hasn't been in the books, but doesn't make it totally original either, because who's to say? But what Matt's saying is if my 4/4 is 210 beats per minute, then my 2/2 would be 105. And that would be because 2/2 is half time of 4/4. And now if my 4/4 is 210, then my 8/8 is 420, because 8/8 is double time of 4/4. The music is beautifully mathematical, and then my quadruple time would be 16/16. And that would be if I doubled the 420 to 840. So music's already designed for mathematics to work within it. I understand the math of it. You're going to tell me I can take a tempo, do half of it, quarter of it, eighth of it.
Well, here's the thing that's tough though. So we go to
Go ahead.
record, and
Yeah.
the latest piece that I did with my guitar, I thought, well, I'll do 3 bars, right? Well, guess what? I did 3 bars, what I thought were right on. Well, guess what? When I went to go lay them out, they drifted off. After 3 bars, it got slower. Timing is weird. If you think about it, what is time? Time
Yeah,
is
really.
perception, right?
Yeah.
Now, there's a lot of people like Larry Millen Jr. of U2. He could not. He could not play to a click track. There's a lot of drummers that are in bands. Oh, another one was Keith Moon of The Who. Townsend would keep time in that band
And
with the windmill.
Keith Moon just
Keith Moon was all over the
parroted
place.
it,
You'd think
yeah.
drummers normally keep time. Well, he didn't keep time. Time is a thing. Now, time is fluid when we're playing live, but as you know, if bands get drunk or when they're, you'll hear people talk about, oh, I went to go see them, but God, they weren't that great this time. It's usually a timing thing. I saw Devo recently, Del Mar, okay, and they're getting older, you know, and I love them, right? But I think it was Bob Casale? Anyways, he's definitely getting older.
One of the things.
Well, he's one of the guitarists, right? And they were all classical guitarists before they joined Devo or studied it. But you can tell he's just a little off.
Can I do a rhythmic expose when there's time?
Yeah.
May I?
Yeah.
I'm not trying to showboat though. That's a term I got from.
Well, here's the deal though. So when you challenge me though, okay.
I'm not challenging you. I just want to show them.
Oh, I know, but here's the thing though. When you play it, here's a true measure. You play what you think is on time.
Well, then they see what the artist thinks. I'm just going to tell something.
Yeah, but I'll take that and I'll throw it into my. I'll throw it in. Well, not just AI. AI is just telling me beats per minute on average. But if I throw it in, it says, okay, so I throw it in, and it says, okay, you're playing at 84 beats per minute, and I put it into my DAW. I can actually look. I'll frame it at 84. Guess what? I'll see those beats start to go off.
I know. Well, I'm just trying to say, I had a break.
It's hard. It's hard. Is what I'm saying. It's timing is hard.
I had a breakthrough today that I did a live clip on. I finally got the mechanics and rhythm motions of sex down in my head, and I mean deep down, subconscious, at the deepest level, and that in turn made me able to play rhythm better and think more in time, because timing is a physical expression of regular movement, which sex is, and therefore dancing is, and therefore music is, and I'm better now, and I want to, and
you can't,
and I can go like this. I can go, and I'm not trying to showboat. I'm not trying to show off. I don't care. But let's say I'm going to go like this. I'm going to go, okay. Let's see, eighth notes in 3/4 time. No, wait, 1 2 1 2 1. Yeah. Triplets in 3/4 time. Quarter notes in 4/4 time. That was 16th notes in 4/4 time. Say it again. 16th notes in 4/4 time. Quintuplets in 3/4 time. Wait, once again. Quintuplets in 4/4 time. That's enough. Anyway, I know the math of it, but the fact that I can do it experientially, physically, in reality as well, I'm pretty good.
Yeah.
And I'm not experienced at it because I just had the breakthrough today. Give me a month.
What we gotta do though is we gotta get.
And you can analyze that. I did those beats just now. Yeah. You have my professional permission to analyze it to the nth degree.
Okay. Right.
I mean, there I go. You'll find I messed up at the beginning and the end, because in the beginning I'm warming up to it, and at the end I'm getting tired. I mean, within any given segment, but
no, but it would be good. You know, one of the things I found is that when we get together, having how different instruments can inspire the song. I don't know if you remember the last session we had where different things happen. Harmonics, even in the room, certain.
Put the mic over there, and give me this curtain where I'm all by myself when I sing and everything. Yeah.
So I've done, panning is a big thing in production.
Yeah.
So when you produce music, you get things a little off center. So there's spatial separation. So things are stereo, right?
Right.
And
what about surround sound? What about There's all kinds of.
Well, usually what they do is like, especially if you're doing some sort of live recording, what have you. You have two mics in the room, one down, and they capture room elements. You know.
Another one.
So
okay.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm tired now after all that beating of my legs.
Are we almost done for the night here?
Well, I think we almost are. Have a feeling, but it was really fun talking with the Matterator here. And in my defense, he's wearing a wig and I'm not. He's wearing sunglasses and I'm not.
This is my natural hair.
Yeah,
today.
he's wearing sunglasses and I'm not. And also, he gets a cool name and I don't. Except I'm Shirtless Guy, but it doesn't compare to the Matterator. I got a joke, an original joke I made.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Is it?
What was? Let me make sure I get the joke right. What was Arnold Schwarzenegger when he became a politician?
The governor?
He was an exterminator. That's my own joke. I find it anywhere else, I'll give you $100 because I made that joke up. Exterminator. Anyway, whatever.
We have this. What the hell? Jimmy, none of that was in time.
Of course. Well, then you do it. Do it better then. Show me how to do it, dude.
We have one troll is in the house.
Yeah. You show me, man. You do a video. You do your own thing and show me how it really is done, dude. Because you're you and I'm not, so you win. I'm just kidding. I love you. Have a great day.
Yeah, so...
The Bible says to love your enemies and pray for those that persecute you. It doesn't say love your friends, does it? Because that's too easy. And it is easy. Everybody does that. Love your enemies and pray for those that persecute you. That's hard. And Bible, Jesus didn't do what was easy, did he? He did what was hard and right. Screw if it's easy. Okay, I love you, hater, and I'll pray for you. I will best I can. Love you. Have a good day. And in my defense, I didn't say I was perfect. I said it was only an attempt. I'm not a drummer. I can feel rhythms. I can't really do drumming wise because I'm not a drummer.
So,
but
for you,
yeah,
what do you think of what we've done here in the format? Do you like it?
I like it. I made a joke with the Matterator here before we started. We were talking. He said, "Do you want to think about what we're going to do or how?" And I thought, no, because I'm just a spontaneous person. And I joked with him. I said, if I were the president, they would hate me or kill me because I wouldn't go by the script of my speeches. I would just get up there and speak my mind, and people wouldn't like that. In fact, it might not even be good for the country. And then the Matterator commented, well, you'd be like Donald Trump. And I said, yeah, well, I'm a lot like him. I'm not that I believe in everything he says or don't. Some things
just
he says, but he's just himself. He just goes out and says what and people hate that dude. And I may not agree with what he says, but that's basically what I would do. I would be a Trump, not a who comes to mind? Whoever. Just one of the regular presidents that reads the Ronald Reagan. You think of him? He looked good and he was an actor, but he probably just read everything and just scripted it all.
Romney.
Yeah, maybe. But I wouldn't be that. I would be like this. Oh, hey, how's it going, guys? How's it going, nation? They would hate me. But anyway, I love you guys. Peace, rock and roll. Would you like to stop? I love you guys. Have a great night. This is the Matterator and Jimmy Wiseman / Shirtless Guy signing out. Love you guys. Peace, rock and roll. Okay. I hope I did it right.